Hey guys, I made a video today which was answering my most common question regarding Anavar only cycles and is it worth it? And I've gotten three responses. Two of them at least are somebody who might be new to the journey of anabolics. And I want to address their questions because I think they're very good questions. And I'm going to reply the best way I can. I'm relatively new to anabolics myself, but I've done research and now I have personal experience, and I believe I am doing it right. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from people who have done anabolics for some time. So I'm going to do my best, and I feel it's like my duty to show somebody, my knowledge and to do it the safe way, to do it proper way. You know what I mean? Because I know it can be hard when there's online, there's on forums and YouTube and wherever else. There's a lot of different advice, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to discern what is good or not. I want to do it in a way that it is safe and effective. Because what's the point of taking anabolics if it's not effective? First of all, I'll answer this first question. I always figured it's best to go with test and with VAR. Good to hear your insight on it. I did a little bit of test and got NIP sensitivity at like 200 milligrams a week. Gonna cut some more and try again later in 6 months. Thanks for the insight. Well, thank you for your question and comment. My advice to him, because he's experiencing nipple sensitivity at 200 milligrams a week, which everybody responds differently to estrogen. There's like a normal curve. Like most people will respond okay at 200 milligrams a week. Some people, 200 milligrams a week is more than enough for their testosterone because they respond really well to the testosterone and the anabolic effects. And some people, maybe like yourself, by the sounds of it, are responding to the estrogen conversion maybe a little bit too much, the beginning signs of gynecomastia, which is something that you don't want to get. That being said, I would say don't be afraid of estrogen. A lot of people think estrogen's bad. Test is good, estrogen's bad. I was in the same boat and mindset a while back. You do want estrogen. It's very important for the anabolic growth, and that is the reason. One of the reasons why we take tests is for that estrogen conversion. Now, if it's true what you're saying, and you are getting the too much of estrogen conversion, then I would suggest very much to add primobolan as your secondary compound. Masteron, primobolan can be used kind of interchangeably for this, but primobolan is, I think, a very wonderful compound and complementary to testosterone. To be honest, it's like every anabolic is based on testosterone molecule, so it's just like taking more testosterone, except that it's not going to. It's the anabolics to androgenic rating or ratio is very desirable compared to testosterone, which is 1-to-1, which is good as well, but that's why we don't run like 500 milligram test only cycles. We can. Some people might be okay with that, but that's why we don't do that, because generally you'll hit a wall where the estrogen conversion is too much, at which point you want to add the secondary compound, which primobolan is, I think, the best choice. It's very chill. You're not going to get psychological effects from it. Very sense of well-being. It's a very beautiful drug, and it's anabolic as well, and it will counter the estrogen effects. Now, obviously, you're keen on taking the Anavar. I wouldn't take it right off the bat. Wait at least 6 weeks, and then add it when you want to take it up a notch from there. And you don't even have to run that much, like 200 milligrams a day pre-workout under the tongue. That's all I did. Just to take it up a little bit of a notch. Okay. So that's my advice to you. People listening, what do you think about my answer to that? Second question. Do you know anyone that uses 5 milligrams per day long-term use? Have read some testimonials where they have Use that for a year without side effects, and blood work looks fine. Plus, getting results in a more slower pace, but still getting them. I'm about to take that approach since I really do not want to be a muscular beast so quickly, but reach my natural genetics limit for faster first. And great video, thank you, and thank you for your comment. So, first of all, is he taking the testosterone? That's the answer I want to know. And then that 5 milligrams? Because as for Anavar only, I would not take, if I was going to do Anavar only, it would only be like 6 weeks most, up to 20 milligrams a day. I would not surpass 20 milligrams a day on an Anavar only cycle. And even that, I wouldn't necessarily recommend. So, but from, I heard, I think it was Vigorous Steve, that who's well known on the internet, YouTube, on anabolics, that he talked about 5 milligrams a day, and that was due to more just connective tissue health more than anything. It wasn't about getting any growth from it. 5 milligrams a day is like more like what a female would take for like a prep cycle, who's like a bikini competition, that type of thing, like a competitor. Because Anavar for them can even cause masculine effects, but generally not in low doses to the same extent as other compounds would. And that's the reason why also that it's great for men, desirable as well as a compound, because it doesn't have those androgenic effects. 5 milligrams a day, I just wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, especially long term. No. I'd recommend if you do something long term, just do testosterone. If you're going to do one thing, and then add the Anavar. That being said, if you ran 5 milligrams pre-workout, you might take your workout up a notch. But is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to crush your test levels at 5 milligrams a day, but it definitely will not help it. And I'll leave it there. Next question. Can you share your experience on PCT after Anavar only cycle, sir? I've never run a PCT. So my first Anavar cycle, which was back like at the end of last summer, was 6 weeks, and I just stopped cold turkey essentially, and I got a bit of a rebound effect, you'd call it, low T levels, but that I think really was only noticeable for a week noticeable, and then maybe it stretched to 2 weeks a little bit, but not really noticeable. And that was back to normal. I was still crushing squats at the gym, bench press, everything else. It really didn't affect shit, to be honest, after that. So I didn't run it. PCT, when you run, the thing about PCTs, from my understanding, is that could have a number of side effects in itself. There's some that sometimes I think it's a good thing to do PCT, don't get me wrong, but I won't get into that now. Obviously, you can look into that yourself. But my recent Anavar cycle, which I just finished 2 weeks ago, I didn't run PCT. I just continued into kind of my quote new cycle. Before I was running test primo Anavar, and I was coming to the end of it, and I introduced Mastron and NPP, and then like a TRT dose of testosterone, and that's what I'm at now. I'm only just going to start beginning to titrate up the Mastron in near future weeks. Keep the NPP the same, keep the testosterone the same, around 300, and then go from there. So yeah, I don't think you need to run PCT on Anavar if you're just doing a blast and cruise type of situation. But if you're running an Anavar only cycle and you do 40 plus milligrams a day, yeah, maybe get something to kickstart your T levels again to be safe. I don't know. I don't feel really qualified to answer that, to be honest. And I'll say when I don't know. So just to be transparent. But what I do know is if you are running testosterone at least a TRT dose, continuously, because eventually that's what you do. You have to continue doing that at the very least, when you take steroids. You got to. I don't think you necessarily have to run PCT when you come off Anavar, especially if it's only 6 weeks at a relatively low dose. I don't even recommend running Anavar too high anyway. But that's me. That's my 2 cents on your guys' question. Thanks for everybody's question. I think those are three real good ones. That's why I felt like it was necessary to address in a video and to make more personal, because this is all a great conversation. I could be here typing out all my answers, which I did do too, but it's like, to be like this and to just talk to you directly, I think is the best way to do it, right? So if you have any more questions, or if you guys are watching this right now and have follow-up questions, that's what I'm here for. Again, I'll just give my 2 cents of my experience and my research, but I think I have some good input for you guys, especially people who are starting out, who are taking those first steps in their anabolic journey. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great night. Peace.